The more information you have, the better the decisions. Data is crucial to do important decisions in Dota games and even before the Dota game in preparation. It's really cool that a big company like SAP is investing into esports, and that I can be a part of it is amazing.
Our day is just getting started here at the CQ Major, but it may be a short day for Chaos if they are not able to retaliate against Vici. A very quick game to start off our day, and it looked like it almost... there weren't many chances for Chaos to bounce back from what we saw. I want to talk about the laning phase. I want to talk about Doom. That was one of the first things that you pointed out, Fogged.
Yeah, Tavo died immediately top. Teleported back up there, died again, and I feel like as soon as he dies the second time, his game is like almost over, and it's like the 2-minute mark. Meanwhile, I mean, he's got one last hit level 1. It's like 2.5 minutes in. We look at bottom, and Tidehunter is level 3 with like 10 last hits versus a 2v1. So the resources that Chaos put to pressure the Tidehunter didn't work, and they weren't protecting their lanes. They lost all 3 lanes.
Tide had Vlad's at like 9 minutes or something. He's tanking tower shots. He's 1 versus 2 and just destroying his lane with a naked Vlad's magic stick quelling blade. It looks like something out of like, you know, my 2K pub games, but hey, it works here. So buy Vlad's is what I'm learning here in Dota 2.
I mean, we already talked about how Chaos definitely had a day that they could be happy about yesterday with the best of one. They were able to make it work there, but they need to piece together 2 wins now back-to-back against Vici. And to be frank, Vici looked like they outclassed them in this first game of the day. We talked about some of the potential ways that Chaos would be able to get a win as well, and we're pretty much hearing the opposite from you guys, right? You talk about the laning phase being important, getting some early game pressure on. I do want to look on the side of Vici, though, and one of the main questions that I have, because we haven't seen another Lina in the tournament, what did we think of this Lina, gods? Because you said, when I'm looking at this draft, I want to see a Lina-type hero, and we just get the Lina.
It looked decent. It's very easy, I think, to play a game like this when you win all 3 lanes.
Yeah.
And also, your opponent picked a mid matchup that was actually slightly favorable for Lina in the laning stage, at least. So that made Ori's game pretty good. There were still a few times where, you know, he went deep in the enemy jungle, got caught out, and died. You know, we saw him getting RP'd. We saw him getting caught out, I think, at least 2 times there. But ultimately, the hero fit the gaps of Vici's lamps, which was just having some burst damage. Yeah. So if you're in a team fight, you get a Ravage off, who's going to die during that Ravage? Lina makes sure someone instantly melts.
Now, when we do get in, this is going to be a pretty short highlight reel, as it was a pretty short game, which is usually a pretty scary indication at the beginning of a series if you are Chaos. But what do you want to see change primarily? Is there a way that they can draft around maybe getting a little bit more pressure going in the early game, Fogged, or is it something completely different?
It's the Lion Mag for me. This duo of support that just, I don't feel like they can do pretty much anything in the game. And Misery even got the level 1 skewer. He got first blood under the tower. That was, I mean, amazing. Like the best thing that you can possibly ask for. But their playmaking is just very low, and I feel like that's why. I mean, we were talking about it. So that's why they probably picked Weehaw on this Earth Spirit. Weehaw usually is kind of a playmaking person anyway, but I feel like it like forces Weehaw's hand to want to make moves, and it hurts. They only have a single core PA versus a draft that's just really strong versus it.
His first rotation killed a Grimstroke, and when you said it was like, well, they don't kill the TB here, this is not worth using your Magnetize and 4 stones or whatever to get that kill. So.
And you lose half your mid tower. Yeah, just I think a different duo of supports, because when I see Chaos doing well, it's when Weehaw's popping off, but it's also when the supports are able to make movements and actually put a lot of pressure on the lanes. This game, they just the game felt over by the 5-6 minute mark. I'm
going to say I think Mag is a bad hero right now, or at least a very overrated hero.
You think Mag is a bad hero? Because we also saw that Mag was first phased with PA. We've seen a lot of Mag. Mag has about a 50% win rate and about a million gajillion picks so far in the CQ Major. What do you think is causing Mag to be overevaluated?
The fact that it's easy to play and not being pressured by a lot of the teams who aren't the tier 1 teams, the VP, Secrets, LGDs. These teams are not picking or playing Magnus because of how weak it is in the laning stage and how easy it is to punish the fact as a support it does nothing for the first 10 minutes except maybe a skewer into tower. You get a kill and then, well, you don't do anything after that. As a core, it loses most of its 1v1 matchups against, if you're against like a carry with some supports, you're getting bullied. It's not a very strong laning stage core either. It just feels too weak and too mid-game focused without any early game.
So you're concerned even further than just seeing it with the Lion, right? Because I remember when the Lion does get locked in, all of a sudden that's where some concerns arise. But you're saying right now, Gods, that overall you're a little hesitant with Magnus right now.
Yes.
Right.
don't pick Magnus, I think.
It feels, I mean, I think in some games it can be good, but now that we're getting toward like the later stages of this tournament, that's where teams start to figure things out and understand what the weaknesses of the hero. You look, and just like you mentioned, super weak in the laning phase, you can just get crushed and lose in 20 minutes. And then, yeah, you have Empower to buff up your carry, but your carry isn't making it to the point where he's really benefiting from it so much, so.
Okay, maybe we'll start to see that change a little bit, but I think we already have seen something that you guys did mention, and that is some of the higher tier teams aren't focusing on it, especially as early as some of these other teams are. And we'll have to see when we do get in this next draft if we are going to see it employed again. And draft phase overall, we've been talking about some of the popular picks, and let's switch it up here a little bit. I do want to talk about TB because we have seen it so much, and its win rate, gods, you have said, is just something to be paying attention to. We've been seeing it get first phase as well. What is so strong right now about the TB?
He's countering most of the popular carries, the Jug, the PA. At least he matches up well against them. And there's most of the heroes you're scared of are these like mid laners, like these Tinkers maybe, these very heavy magic damage heroes, which have strong weaknesses of their own that you can then deal with later on in your draft, I would say.
Well, Vici already looking like they could be running away with this one. And we were talking about just the bracket overall. Do you think Vici has a favorable run if they are able to take down Chaos here, or is it looking pretty difficult?
They would be playing against EG more than likely, as expected in the next game.
We talk about EG potentially earlier in the day. We say EG maybe does have that favorable run. Do you think that that is going to be an unfavorable matchup for Vici? EG has to get there first.
EG has to get there first. I don't know, actually. I'm like, EG hasn't impressed me, so like I don't really know how to rate them versus Vici, but usually they do pretty well versus them, so maybe I'd give them like a slight edge.
Okay. Just want to be thinking about that right now because Chaos really does need to pull out all of the stops here, facing elimination.
And Rubik.
Oh my, what are they planning on picking here? Tavo Enigma, let's go.
Enigma, right? Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking.
Maybe not first stage, but that's... You ban the Rubik. It's because it was untouched last game. Vici Gaming have not shown they're a team that wants to prioritize Rubik in that 4-position role.
No, I think like the times that I've seen Rubik, it's like in response to Magnus first pick. I think I saw Secret do it. It was like, if you're picking Magnus first, you're going to get Rubik because it's just a better, you just do the same thing. Like if you ever steal RP, it's a 4.5-second disable AoE BKB piercing. So.
And Shockwave and Empower also are great steals.
Yeah, everything is good.
Vici Gaming seem a bit caught out by that. They're using reserve time for a ban here, which I don't, can't totally blame them for. That Rubik ban did kind of come out of nowhere.
I really do feel like, though, that TB is going to get even more on the rise, just because the other thing, too, that he provides is like Jug and PA and like these other popular carries, they don't take objectives. Like, this is okay, Medusa was the one that was banned in the last time, so this is what they wanted.
That's why they took so long, it seems, to figure out what they want to ban.
They're going to pick TB first, too, right?
TB +1.
At the beginning of the tournament, Medusa in first phase was something we saw a whole bunch. We're still seeing it a decent amount here. Why are we seeing so much Medusa so far at the major?
So much about this, make sure you have a super late game carry. That's what I'm seeing at this major. It's just, yeah, it's about one of those big four, big five heroes. You have to have one in your lineup, otherwise you have to play pretty much perfect and end the game really quickly. But I've also seen Deuces ending the game pretty fast, too. Just because they have like a Timbersaw with them or something. But
and get that early Roshan, go high ground with like 2 items on Medusa.
You guys have been talking about Timbersaw a whole bunch today. Like, we're in the back, we're getting our makeup done. You guys are talking about Timbersaw. Waking up, eating breakfast, you're talking about Timbersaw.
Vici Gaming's
I had dreamed about Timbersaw,
Tied again.
Hey, worked last time, right? I think they're like, okay.
Dire team pick.
Had a free lane last time, and they're doing the same opener.
There we go.
Worked last time. And there's the
Timbersaw.
That's a...
You can stop dreaming, guys.
2 cores. They've have their... I mean, this is 4 cores picked in the first 4 picks. That's not something you see very often.
And for Chaos, it's like your mid and your carry.
Yeah.
You're not going to see a 3-position Timbersaw, I don't think.
It's like, right... What the... Oh my god. Medusa, that's what they won yesterday with, right? That's what they won in the best of 1 with versus the Anti-Mage. The Anti-Mage Furion.
You look at Vici, and I really do think you have a case of if it's not broken, you don't need to fix it at all. They can open the same way.
This Chaos ban is like the most needed one, the OD ban. It's the amazing versus both of the heroes.
This is the first time we've seen first stage Timbersaw. It's only always been like a 4th, 5th pick. I think very commonly 4th pick, where you give your opponents 1 pick to respond and you've banned out OD typically.
See how they address it though. Got to get that.
Yeah.
Like I've seen a lot of these drafts, it's just no magic damage at all versus the Timber.
I feel like one of your supports and your mid both have to address Timbersaw, like Pugner or something with some lockdown and control for him. And then also you got to consider, how do you want to lane this? Like, do you want to give TB tri-laning into the Timbersaw? Because you don't really want the Timber tied 1v1 matchup. How do you avoid getting that 1v1 matchup?
It's, I mean, already I'm looking at Chaos. It's so much just about the lane. If Timber just gets shut down in the laning phase, the game could be an absolute disaster for them already. And it's just because of these two heroes. Like, they need to have decent lanes, otherwise you can just get kind of run over.
Tide +1 can beat Timbersaw too, is the thing. If you give Tide like a Grimstroke behind him and just Gush plus use your little paintbrush thing at him, and you're looking good. Like, Grimstroke panned out now, but there's other options I feel like that can bully the Timbersaw in lane. Skywrath, you know, get a support Skywrath. Just go nuke him down.
I thought we'd see some Skywraths. I thought we would, but
Why do you think we haven't?
he's just not as good as the other heroes.
He's not Grimstroke. He's not Lich. Yeah.
He's countered. He doesn't give you a defensive aspect. He doesn't give you tower defense. Doesn't give you deep push. He lacks a lot of things.
So why
Completely countered by BKB.
Gonna see him?
Because he's annoying to play versus if you're a carry.
Okay.
He just like bullies. He just throws spells at you.
Once you get your BKB, though, you get your revenge on him.
You get your revenge
Whereas
on
you
him.
get BKB versus Grimstroke, he can still ulti you. Lich still has armor. They still have ways to play around BKB.
Okay.
I also just like Star. Fun hero.
Usually how I make most of my decisions.
There it is again, the Tusk.
Yeah.
Pretty sure if I had to draft right now, I'd pick Pango every time. Cute as hell, man.
This can work too. Like, I mean, Black was the one who was talking about it too. Is like TB with Tusk is insane because TBRA does so much damage. You throw a tag team on top, and it's pretty crazy. And okay,
Nice. They're
we're talking
going
about-
for this kind of early push.
Yeah.
Even though they've got Medusa.
solidify your lane somehow too, and yeah, group up and maybe try to push it out.
No stuns though. Definitely something they need to figure out with their last couple picks.
Yeah.
Okay, so early game push, something that we're seeing being prioritized by Chaos, and that's also something that we said even before the series started, we want to see Chaos potentially do. Maybe they'll look for some stuns here, as Gods alluded to, but now up is Vici.
The Tusk kind of takes away the dual lanes, I feel, because you don't want to do a Tusk plus Tide. That doesn't really address Timbersaw Disruptor. So saying this is the hero to take down Timbersaw with.
It is not fun to play Timber versus that. Itemization is very limited. You have to go for like those Yule's plays.
Okay, so we're liking what we're seeing from Vici, is what I'm hearing. Now Chaos potentially looking for those stuns that Gods did mention.
They had a great showing with their Disruptor the other day too, right? Versus, did they win that?
Was that Vici who picked it?
I guess it was like, I think it was Vici versus LGD, right? And they had the whole Wombo combo with the Disruptor ulti. I could be wrong. I might be
There's
wrong.
I'm trying to remember what game it is. We've
a
seen
couple Disruptor
been a couple,
games.
We've
yeah.
seen like I think it's like 3 disruptors now.
Okay.
I'll look it up once we actually do jump into the game. Yeah, I make a big note every time we see a disruptor. Disruptor is Bay.
So Chaos may pick their other core here. It doesn't really matter what order you pick your support core since you're picking back-to-back. But yeah, definitely looking for some lockdown control. Don't think you go for that Enigma. That seems too greedy, or... At that point, you've got some serious late game too.
They have some serious weird lanes though. Then if they have like an Enigma and dying.
Yeah, I guess your Timber, even though he's played likely by Weeha in the as a 1 position, it's... Yeah, what are your supports doing if you've got Timber Enigma?
Who's making plays?
Yeah.
It's like your 4 position then is gonna have to just completely go crazy because right now the playmaking on Chaos is just not there. They don't have playmakers on their heroes. It's Timber, if he's able to actually get a good successful lane and he can just walk between towers, that's his kind of playmaking in a way, I guess you could say. But
So the Centaur was banned. That's kind of like the kind of obvious playmaker that can kind of try a lane and have some supports there. Shaman,
oh,
lockdown control.
okay.
Usually a 4 position. Some teams like TNC have played it in the 3 position role too, though.
This gives them, you're talking about the push, right? Group up and push if they can get that timing with the wards.
They don't have anyone to really buy all those aura items right now, although Timbersaw did go for like a Greaves in the game they played. Even had a Vlad queued up before they were going double Vlad. I was pretty tilted by that.
There's almost 4 Vlads being built in that game. Both teams almost built Vlads. I was watching and I was like, oh my god, someone needs to be talking right now.
I was, yeah. That was anger-inducing. What else we got? So Vici needs something kind of fast-paced, and Yeah, you've got Disruptor for the Timbersaw, but you don't actually necessarily kill him in that Static Storm without like single target burst damage here.
They're probably gonna. I mean, they might just take a Lina.
Lina Pugna.
They might
stand
just
out.
take
Yeah,
Lina again.
Lina Pugna. What else? I mean, there's like the Tinkers, but that's maybe a bit too slow paced, too greedy.
Yeah.
Is it fair to say the Lina wasn't really tested in the last game too? I mean, we talk about it potentially being squishy, maybe being a weakness, and I can't think of many times pressure was really on Vici.
If anything, now the Lina looks even better. Because now the problem in the last game, it's like it's great versus PA because you can burst her, but you can also be susceptible just dying. This one, like no one collapses on top of you. Timber is not really one of those that you're too scared of.
And Lina against Tombstone against Serpent Woods.
Yeah,
that's
it looks
so
really
so
good.
nice to play Lina into that.
Maybe we see the Lina again. Seeing what Chaos is going to ban out here. Do you think there's any chance that they do? Okay.
They take the Huskar out
They're
again.
worried about it, yeah.
Any expectations as to what Chaos might be locking in here? We think maybe Lina for Vici.
Probably one of those, yeah, just aura item builders. There's like what the Darkseer is a possibility.
10 seconds remaining.
Their draft just looks very awkward to me in comparison. I look at Vici's and I'm like, damn, that looks nice. I look at Chaos and it looks very unorthodox.
Does it look like it has a unified purpose, though? I know we heard that a little bit earlier on, but now does it seem like it's gone a little bit awry?
If like the Timber can get super tanky and stuff, and then they can rally around him and get the push going, yeah, but
Core Sven got Warcry. He can get some aura items.
Bog just made a very not attractive
that's
face.
the. I'm not gonna call you an idiot, but I don't like it.
I'm not too sure what rounds them together because their team fight's not great either. Who keeps them in the Tombstone and the Stone Gaze too? Like Tombstone and Stone Gaze, if we get to that point, comes down, they just kind of walk away. Okay, that's pretty nice. And that complements the push. That gives them lockdown, gives them catch.
They weren't too afraid of it, I think, because they have TB Tide, who both lane very well against Beastmaster.
Yeah, that's true, actually.
Which is where it fits their draft, but laning stage-wise doesn't feel amazing.
So the lanes are looking tough for Chaos. Do you think that there's any way that they can try to switch it up to make it a little bit more favorable as the last pick does come in?
Ooh, there's magic damage. Here we go. Or SF. I don't know if he's known for his SF necessarily. But.
No, I mean, he used to play quite a bit, actually. When he used to be the, I think he was like the Tinker Shadow Fiend in the beginning, and then he got more known for the Kunkka and all that.
Yep. Similar idea to Lina, where good at killing Tombstone, Serpent Wards, and also just magic damage to get some of these kills. But I think, yeah, to answer your question, Rich, like getting the Timber lane against Tidehunter is key for Chaos. I think if they don't have that, their lanes are not going to look... And if Timber has a slow start, this game looks bad for Chaos.
Okay, yeah, and that's kind of what we were hearing from you as well. It just looks like we need to see that hero have a good game. But guys, if they do not, we will see Chaos potentially get eliminated here. It can end with this 2-0. This is an elimination series. And we're ready to jump into all the action. We're going to throw it on down to the casters.
Thank you again, Rich. And yes, elimination matches. We had 4 yesterday, 4 more today. Everybody's getting kicked out of this thing, and Chaos might be next unless they're able to pull this one together. Do you think they have what it takes?
They definitely have a much better draft than last game. Much more comfort heroes for them as well. Of course, Weeha on his Timbersaw, he loves it. HFN on the Dusa can just farm all day. Perfect for him. And Tavo just to buff up the entire team. They definitely have what it takes to.
You called it. You were like, all right, they need a Beastmaster.
Yeah, I mean, they just lack tower push. They lacked an aura hero, which is like a perfect Tavo hero for this kind of situation. But, VG, they have almost the same draft as last game. This SF is going to... If he is against the Dusa, SF beats Dusa quite easily. And then, of course, they have the Paparazzi Terrorblade again to fall back on. Late game is not going to be easy for this Dusa. There's way too much damage coming out, so we will see how the early game goes. It will depend on that, I think.
I feel like we've seen this matchup of Terrorblade versus Dusa a lot, too, in the late game where you get the reflection. I remember, actually, I think that it was either this guy... No, it was Prada. It was Thunder Predator, where they were able to get, like, a Fiend script, and then the Terrorblade reflection was just blowing up the Medusa.
Yeah.
Might be able to do that here as well with some strong single-target disable. But, yeah, it does sort of feel like it's almost the exact same draft from Vici.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the first 3 are the exact same. Might just be another tri-lane again with Tusk, Disruptor, and TB just to secure the TB farm. But I think it's crucial for Chaos team that they land this Timber against the Tidehunter 1v1. And then do a pseudo tri-lane with the Beastmaster just to get him a good game as well. But yeah, Timbersaw is the #1 important hero this early game, I think.
Absolutely, and on time and again, yesterday even, we saw Weeha dominate on that hero. It does sort of depend upon having some good laning stages, and since you picked it first, Vici has been able to counter it pretty heavily. So we're going to be seeing Chaos try and dodge away with the lanes, not reveal where that Timber Saw is at, but at least so far, Tidehunter has been on the bottom side of the map, and so too is Timber.
Yeah, I mean, you can see the Dire Ward is to kind of scout out the lanes. But of course, Radiant also knows that they need to get the correct lane, so they're all just like waiting in the middle.
Yeah, exactly. I kind of wonder if they're even just going to sit there until they see somebody. Might not be what they do, but Hawk right on top of Fade, and it looks like the runes are going to be traded off 2 for 2 most likely, although...
Yep. And we do see the Timber against Tidehunter bottom, so far at least. And I don't think they'll really change it up. And then the Beastmaster, Undying top, very strong lane. But of course the Tusk triple lane is just very scary to play against. They might actually get 3 runes here on the Chaos side.
Yeah, they're looking for it. And does that ward quite scout out? It doesn't. So it looks like, yeah, they're going to be able to pick up 3 of them. So DY just gets the 1.
Already lane swapping though on the Radiant side.
Yeah, they're heading up to the north.
That's a problem when you take the 3 bounty runes. It's really really obvious where these heroes actually are. And now the Timber Saw is also on the rotation.
Okay.
It's going to be lots of rotating, lots of TPing. Getting the right lanes is key this game. But as I said, SF usually beats Dusa quite easily in the mid lane, so that definitely goes for the Radiant team. And then, if you just do lane swapping a lot and you lose mid lane, it's kind of iffy for Team Chaos, so they'll have to find a solution to that.
Yeah, heading up all the way to the north there. It does look like the Shadow Shaman is going to pass through here as well. Gives an Ether Shock to Ori on the way through, and likewise, King RD is going to take a little clap there from the Disruptor as well. So wards traded off, it looks like, and yep, we've got the 1v1 matchup that everybody was talking about. As, well, we are just trying to potty block Yang there.
I mean, he's even 1v2 right now. Undying Timber Sword. That's something Tidehunter cannot lane against. But if they trade it off for Beastmaster, I mean for Terrorblade free farming, I think it's still alright.
Yeah. Ooh. Gonna punch that boar. Tavo gets the deny on it. Nice job there onto Fade. But yeah, that is something that we're seeing, is at least Tidehunter trying to pull the creep wave back into a slightly better position for him. 7-7 from Paparazzi. Has had a completely free lane so far. And doesn't look like that's going to change too much since they were able to kill off the boar. And now the tag team, Tavo getting punched by himself. That Metamorphosis used, and he is going to have another death. Tavo has not had a great game so far, or a great series.
I mean, the Tusk got a free lane for 1 wave, and it means he gets level 2 really quickly. And it results in a very easy kill with the Ice Shards.
Oh.
I'm surprised the Beastmaster didn't just TP out, because they don't really have any stun for it. Well,
yeah,
matter.
A little bit tough there.
Yeah. The battle for the region rune, and denied.
Wasn't quite able to get there.
Yeah, he was like,
Is that what he was like?
Yeah, because he was kind of like in it already, you know?
Black, you're so funny.
Thank you.
Disruptor is another one of those heroes that we haven't seen all that much recently. Oftentimes sort of falls behind when you're in tri-lane versus tri-lane, but is going to be down here bottom now. And again, they go on to Tavo. He's in trouble with that reflection out. He just takes so much damage. They're trying to turn this with the shackles onto Disruptor. See if they can find the kill. Tavo actually lives through it. Instead, DY is the one who goes down.
Yep, this Undying, of course, king of tri-lanes for a reason. And it's going to be a tough lane for them on bot lane here.
Oh, they find the kill. Double kill for Misery. Already a much better time. And it feels like Chaos is just saying, okay, we're going to put that last game behind us, try and just dominate from the outset.
They might be in trouble here, VG, because they're going to lose the off lane for sure, Timber against Tide. And they're going to lose the safe lane most likely too, just because of the Undying. Mid lane, however, should be going in VG's favor. Is it right now? Yeah, slightly.
Well, and to be honest, Medusa is not a hero that really cares that much about falling behind a little bit. Like, both of these heroes are comfortable heading to the jungle and farming.
Yeah, but at this point, like, he really can't lane anymore. He has, like, no mana to snake, no damage to last hit. But of course, I'm Shadow Shaman. I'm here to help you, bro.
We'll see if they are still going to be able to keep asserting dominance in that bottom lane with the Shadow Shaman leaving at least for the moment. And he's going to go stack up the jungle, it looks like.
Yeah. TB will have Metamorphosis available soon, and then this trial needs to be really careful. Because he's very farmed, he has a lot of damage at his disposal.
Yeah. What you like to see there. So yeah, the movement over, and it looks like it's going to be an illusion rune picked up for King Ao.
Yeah. They're not addressing this TB at all. I'm really scared for him. They want to shut down the SF, of course, to give the Dusa free farm. So it's a 3-man rotation middle.
Oh my god, just dropping the tombstone and moving forward for it, trying to find the range. He's going to be there for the shackles. And now HFN picks up a free kill, it looks like. It's actually going to be going over to the Shadow Shaman, but some good pressure onto the tower.
Yep. Comes at a cost, though. TB still completely free farming. And at some point, you can't really go to this bot lane anymore, even with the support. So you have to be careful that you don't just let him completely free farm.
Oh. Oh, and Misery, he wanted to deny himself to the tower, but the rotation comes in from Fade. That does kind of leave, you know, the bottom lane alone for a little bit here, as Misery is going to walk over to the tier 2 now, try and deny himself to this guy, and does the Tusk get the kill? Ugh.
Nope.
I think he was in range for the experience, possibly, but
yeah.
Still, that does mean that you're able to pick up 2 bounty runes on the side of Chaos, with no Tusk nearby to come and contest.
Mm-hmm. And with the rotation mid lane, Dusa will also have a much better time now. Oh, this is what I want to see from a Tidehunter, just cutting the creep wave instead of just playing the lane. That's a mistake a lot of Tidehunters did. They just played the lane 1v1 against Timber. So of course it's not possible. This way you just free farm.
Yeah, and
Yang knows what he's doing.
I mean, it does mean that, you know, Weeha's going to come and try and contest this one a little bit, but now the pressure is onto his tier 1 tower.
Yeah. This is very good by Yang. Playing this 1v1 excellently.
So that does mitigate some of the damage that was being done before, and if you look across all of the lanes right now, Vici are in the lead, and probably the biggest winner from all of this is going to be Paparazzi, who again, 34 last hits, 21 denies. He's still only level 4 because he's had a lot of help, but that guy is pretty stacked up in gold.
Yeah. We already know he doesn't like to be high level. He had like 70k net with level 14. It was ridiculous. Going on the Beastmaster yet again.
Tusk is just so good.
Yeah. His tag team level 2 is so much damage, it's ridiculous. Glimpse? Oh, I couldn't get the vision.
And it does sort of make you wonder a little bit, why did they give it up again? Like
in the second phase.
Terrorblade, Metamorphosis, combo together with Tusk, it's just an easy kill.
Or they might get another freebie here.
Yeah, Misery in some trouble. They're still trying to rotate, but it looks like Ori has the range to get out of there. But on the other side, Misery does not have the luck.
Or Tombstone as well.
That's some pretty easy goal. Although, the rotation coming in from Weeha trying to find the kill. They take down Paparazzi. Much needed.
Where's the Titan rotating middle with a Ravage?
Dubious at best, and now they move in with the shackles. They have Ravage to interrupt as soon as Misery walks into this one. They take down the Shadow Shaman, and well, Chaos, they find something, but then end up losing that Shaman. I guess Ravage used?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but I don't like the rotation from Tide at all. The tier 1 tower should have been downed at this point already, but he did like an interesting rotation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Team player.
You always put things in such a positive spin. I love that.
Well, means the Terrorblade can go top now, right? And
yeah.
free farm there instead. Why not?
Level 5. Going to start getting more points up in that Conjure Image. Try and make sure you control the map.
Yeah, Timber just taking the T1 bot.
But look at this rotation coming from Chaos. You can see all these heroes moving over to this direction. They are going to scout the Shadow Shaman here, but they won't quite have eyes on Misery.
And Terrorblade might very well be in trouble.
Although they have, again, they've got this ward here. They're bringing in the Tusk also.
Yeah, Metamorphosis is up in 40 though. They don't have it right now.
Medusa is not really in a position to come and help for this one. Maybe the Timbersaw could make a TB rotation, but he's at half mana, and yeah, it looks like Undying realizes he can't do anything there. Weeha kind of pummel Yang.
They really need to get this SF down to that lane together with like a Tusk or something. He's the only one that can actually kill this Timbersaw.
Is Yang dead? No, he's good.
It's fine. SF actually quite underfarmed. I'm a bit surprised by that. I guess he did get pressured a lot by the supports. Only just now level 7.
I think part of it too is just that Medusa was able to farm up a couple of those stacks. She went to the jungle a few times, just trying to stay a little bit above that SF.
Yeah.
of course, the one rotation, they've found the kill on him also.
Putting a lot of pressure on him.
DD rune for SF. Doesn't look like he's going to be able to get anything bonus with it besides just farming out that jungle. And so Chaos stacking camps.
This Timber needs to be dealt with right now. Just come down there, SF. He's on the move already. Plus 1 more TP, they can get this kill on this Timber quite easily.
Yeah.
The Tusk comes.
He has Ravage in 15 seconds. If they play around for this for too long, it looks like Weeha trying to get fresh and fanciful, wants to get the kill. The interruption, though, able to find it.
Very greedy by Weeha. He saw the SF not being in mid lane for quite a while. And, I mean, I guess it is a lot of space, but it's, of course, better if you don't die.
Yes. That's what they tell me, at least.
Yeah, oftentimes.
Okay, Paparazzi is going to be able to take down that Hawk. And Tavo's still stuck at level 4.
No. Get denied, brah.
Oh, and bounty runes, look at this.
Yeah. Chaos gonna claim
2 of them?
2-2 trade or 3-2.
Oh, the glimpse back to pull him in. And now they're going to be able to chase down Misery, it looks like. So he pays with his life.
Yeah. That's not what I wanted to do with the glimpse, but now he's there.
Oh. I think that they also got Weeha away. Okay.
Now they got Weeha back to the 2-tower bottom.
Yeah.
Very interesting. So there was a 2-2 bounty split, was it? No, 3-1 split for Chaos. Still keeping a slight gold lead. Dudes are still free farming.
And kind of a slow-ish game. I mean, there's been 12 kills, but it's always felt a little bit odd. And now Vici could make something happen here, although immediately Dusa is going to go back towards mid. Yep. She's just holding down this tower while looks like Vici are going to make a concerted effort to try and take down the tier 2 tower in the top lane.
Should be no problem. They still have the Ravage. I don't think Chaos wants to fight this. They're pressuring 2 lanes, however, so it's quite good for them. They do have the Shaman wards as well. He's rotating to the bot lane.
Yeah, this would be big if they can trade off the tier 2 tower in the bottom lane for it, as they've already taken the tier 1 in the mid.
Yeah, very bad trade for Team VG here. Losing 2 towers for 1 is not worth it at all.
Yeah.
Especially with superior team fight. They could have easily taken this fight if they were prepared for it.
Instead, they're going to move in towards the Roche pit, it looks like. They see that the wards are dropped down, and they want to try and secure this one for them. Tag team, as well as the remnants of Metamorphosis. It's not actually there for that much longer.
Yeah, it's gone now. And they have seen the rotation as well by a ward that just expired.
Okay.
They choose to pressure the high ground instead, though.
I mean, that's something for sure. And Misery, they know that they're in here. He's going to start throwing out the decay stacks while they're still keeping pressure on that bottom lane. The tier 3 tower is down to about half HP, and now the movement in. Misery is going to die. HFN walking into everybody, but they get the Aegis onto Ori. But look at the damage that they were able to deal to tier 3. And now that's the Stone Gaze. Ori's going to drop the chase forward with that tombstone down. They did so much damage here to Vici Yang. He's going to throw out that Ravage. Barely clips there on the end onto the Medusa, and it will be finally enough damage, possibly to kill off HFN. Yes, there's a great Sunder from Paparazzi, but these zombies, they're just doing so much here, and now they were able to find that Shackles, the rundown. Can they kill off Ori? Weeha doesn't decide to go for him. Maybe a big misplay there as Tavo ends up losing his life for the cause, but instead Weeha able to find the kill onto Yang.
And the tier 3 tower bottom is also down.
All right.
I think there was a massive misplay by VG. Not only did they lose 2 towers, but they also lost the base tower. I mean, the Roshan is nice and all, but I don't know why you would want to take this trade at all.
And the Aegis ends up being taken down. They got the Aegis and the kill.
Yeah, I mean, very well played by Chaos. Making all the right decisions here. Dusa ended up dying, right? Yeah, she did. Yeah. She just got clipped by the Ravage at the very, very outside of it.
And I mean, you take a look at like the difference in net worth graph. It's never been over 1,000 gold lead so far in this game. Experience is now still going to be pretty heavily into the favor of each. I guess it's only 2,000 still. A very close game here at 13 minutes in.
It's quite scary though. One good smoke rotation from Chaos could net them a bottom Rex.
Yeah.
Now that the Rex are actually vulnerable.
I mean, even just Shadow Shaman himself, they have to keep that lane down, push out continually. Like, he's down there, and I have a feeling that King R is going to be hanging out that direction for a while.
Now, TB is on push-out duty there. He's going to play around the bot lane most of the time from now on, I think. Just push out with illusions. Make sure there's no back-to potential there.
It's a smoke up from Vici, and
Metamorphosis available again. for the bot tower.
Just place down a really deep ward, it looks like, to see if anybody TPs for the tier 2. And also placing one behind the tier 2 in the mid lane. Both of those tier 1s are still alive.
Yeah, I'm surprised. Usually with the TB, you opt to take the tier 1s first, just to get the map control to jungle. But they're gonna get at it now. Probably gonna take 2 towers bottom.
I mean, simultaneously, they've got a big creep wave here in the top lane, and they still have wards for the Shadow Shaman.
Trading 2 for 2 again. I mean,
Dubious.
The trades for Chaos are really good. They don't want to teamfight them, and they're avoiding them perfectly.
I mean, Vici actually have to be careful here, because if they're able to save the wards from the tier 2, they could possibly drop them up on high ground and start pulling Vici apart. Misery is going to heal back up afterwards, has the tombstone down. Ori, he's walking into the middle of everybody. Can they kill him off in time? No, he does get that TP away.
Courier down.
But Radiant Courier drops. They take down the tier 2 tower, still have wards. Chaos are just out playing Vici.
Quite heavily right now, yeah. Always getting these trades. Like, VG wants to teamfight them really badly, but Chaos is doing such a good job of just avoiding them. And of course, dropping the ward to the shrine. Now that's a curious decision. They really don't like that one, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, it does set them up to secure for Roche later, and it's definitely a little bit different. Maybe they felt like they couldn't go for high ground.
Beastmaster still level 6. That's very funny, actually.
Is he really? Oh, God. I mean, this is what I think we've been seeing more and more often nowadays, is like the offlaner just gets sacked sometimes.
Yeah, this is like super sack. I mean, he still has somewhat acceptable net worth, but obviously Rasta, the Shadow Shaman, has taken a lot of money. Yeah. 800 gold for the Blink Dagger, already finished his Adder Lens. It's going to be a huge problem for the VG side.
So Roche capable to respawn in 4 minutes. Still a long ways away. But you can see a 2,000 gold lead for Chaos, and a smoke up as for. They're going to try and go behind Paparazzi as they want to push for this tier 1 tower in the mid lane. And again, Chaos not showing signs of wanting to fight them. They're just farming out around the rest of the map, hiding away.
They really just want to get to late game.
Oh, they see HFN though. That ward back behind the tower. Can they get there in time? They have the glimpse to pull him in for the fight, and HFN, he can't believe it. He's just dead.
Yeah. Slight miss by HFN here. He could have precast Stone Gaze during the glimpse.
And Chaos realized, yeah, we just can't take this fight right now. Weeha wants to go in, but you just can't do it. And he's still within vision, actually. He needs to be careful. Yeah. That glimpse was off cooldown again.
And the biggest problem is they didn't have to use Ravage for that, so they still have the big team fight ultimate.
And that's where that rotation in and getting those deep wards makes all the difference in the world.
Yep. Timbersaw went for the Guardian Greaves. Alright. Put Guardian Greaves very tanky on his part. SF is going for the BKB. Needs another 100 gold to complete that.
Okay.
Not the most game-breaking item because of Stone Gaze as well as Primal Roar.
Yeah.
But it will take care of the damage from Timbersaw at least.
It does feel like if you're able to get that Roar off onto Shadow Fiend, though, he's just going to be sitting there for a while. And the other thing to keep in mind is that this is not a Dusa that you can just leave to her own devices. Doesn't have a ton of farm as of yet, but you know, Yasha, some Wraith Bands, the Dragonlance can have Manta soon.
Yeah. Going for Manta again.
You're not a fan.
Most people know I hate Manta on Dusa. But everybody's doing it, so what can I say?
Hey man, it happens.
It happens sometimes, yeah.
Weeha, very much in the lead there.
Yeah, I like the Guardian Greaves pickup, because as soon as they finish the Vessel, which is actually just now, he can remove it with the Guardian Greaves active.
Yeah.
So already predicted that they would go for one.
I mean, it can make all the difference in the world. Oh!
Oh, he found him.
Found him! Oh, man. And losing heroes. Vici not feeling great about that one. It's going to snowball over to the creeps, but this would take a whole heck of a lot to secure the retreat. But HFN was able to get the precast there off on the Stone Gaze, and now the turnaround. They already found the kill into one. If they bring in the rest of these heroes in time, and Misery trying to keep HFN alive, almost taking down Paparazzi. He gets the Sunder off onto Yang. That keeps him alive. And now the chase forward for more, though. Weeha has Paparazzi in his sights, and well, King R going to drop some wards, going to shackle him up, and this looks like Ori is just going to have to run away. This Misery still living somehow through all of this. I was sure that the Undying would have been dead, but Ori going to BKB TP away. Yang He's just going to be pulled back in here. Misery needs to walk away yet again, has another soul rip. And somehow, some way, Chaos win 2 fights simultaneously.
I am really confused by what Vici's doing. They didn't use Ravage, they didn't use Requiem BKB. They didn't use Metamorphosis. They didn't use any of the big cooldowns.
I think that's called cast your spells.
Like, they just got killed without using anything, basically. And it was a long, long team fight. Very curious. Roshan is almost spawning. Whew, I mean, that's rough.
Yeah.
That's not a team fight they should have lost.
They walk in now. Ori wants to take this one. Fade, combination there onto Tavo. They pull them all inside, but this Tusk almost dead. Requiem out. Misery almost gone as well. But the Tombstone is here. Paparazzi running everybody, but Weeha starting to lay into Ori. Again, no BKB, and Paparazzi will be able to find this kill on the Tombstone in a second, but he's also being controlled as the Static Storm is down. Ravage to try and turn it. Paparazzi needs to walk out. He doesn't have any mana. He doesn't have anything. They're shackling his Tidehunter, and Weeha has that Terrorblade in his sights. Will find the kill eventually. And again, Vici just one by one, they die.
Vici's getting outplayed super hard right now by Chaos. We got a series on our hands, I think.
And that's the thing to keep in mind too, is that it feels like it's outplay. It's last game was like a draft and lane loss, but the moves that Chaos have been making around this map to dodge and take the fights that are only best for them, it's been feeling like they've been able to outplay them.
I mean, all the props to them. It just feels like VG is so disconnected from one another.
Yeah.
Like that huge team fight at the Dire Shrine, they should never have lost. They had 3 big abilities at their disposal. They didn't use a single one of them. I'm really wondering what VG's like thinking right now.
Well, we'll have a chance to ask him later. As 16-15, very battle-y game it feels like so far. Yep. And still, it's just right on the verge. Only a 2,000 gold lead. Again, the difference maker feels to be when they get a chance to push high ground, since they've already taken that tier 3 tower. And of course, Shaman just can make all the difference in the world. This hero dropping round wards.
Yeah, I think King Gao right now is my personal MVP. He's making so many plays around the map, finding everything, perfect disables. He's just pushing out lanes. I mean, you can see his net worth. He's almost at 7K. He's playing a really good game with a Shadow Shaman.
King RD's just always been such a baller.
And he's showing why.
Definitely. This is not even into the cast range talent yet for that Shadow Shaman.
Shadow Shaman with the cast range talent is ridiculous. It's like full screen hex.
Yeah, full screen blink.
Full screen anything.
Look at that guy go. So Chaos.
Now it's Chaos' turn to pressure.
That tier 2 tower is going to get chunked. They have the Manta on Medusa, building towards the Scotty next. And that's the other thing to keep in mind is that, you know, yes, Terrorblade Reflection, it can be good against Medusa, but right now, he's kind of on even terms with her, and they've got all the control in the world around him.
Yeah, I really like this item decision from Paparazzi, though. He realized they have no DPS, so he's going for the Daedalus straight after the BKB. Most people would just go for the Skadi, the very conventional item, but he's just going to lay in the damage.
Mid lane, they have eyes on Weeha. It's a 3-person smoke up, rather.
They just can't.
They're calling that they want to go for the bottom tier 3 tower, which is doing a lot of damage here. So sort of similar to what we saw earlier from Chaos, but the problem is there was a DD Medusa, so this Roche is going to fall significantly quicker before Vici can even get there.
Yeah, they did not anticipate the DD.
Oh, you can go for the glimpse play possibly. Yep, they're going to glimpse
Manta
away
dodge?
HFN.
Oh, I didn't have Manta ready. He would have dodged it.
And now you don't have a Medusa for this fight. And Vici are just going to walk immediately up and take down this melee barracks, it looks like. Static Storm already down onto Weeha and Misery. They're keeping their eyes on the prize, trying to kill it off. Roar there, and the Ravage to follow, but still living through this. And now HFN is shown back up. The chase forward coming from Weeha. It's the BKB out, and King RD is actually going to go down, but the wards have already been dropped. Can they kill off this Terrorblade? They still have the chase forward, and with everything used with Sunder down, they just lose him. So they take down the barracks and the tier 3 tower, but they lose a couple.
It was well played by VG. The only problem was they didn't have TPs up on all the heroes. So Terrorblade actually did not have a deep TP at his disposal after the barracks, so he couldn't BKB TP out. But still, barracks is a barracks. Well played by them. They thought ahead there, man.
Yeah.
Like, far ahead.
Yeah, the Disruptor Glimpse, it's something that I think you sort of forget about after a while not playing against this hero. but being able to be aggressive and then just take the 4-on-5 fight.
Yeah.
The danger zone is that now you have Aegis on the Dusa, and she's on your high ground.
And
no
you have
wards.
no Metamorphosis.
This glimpse is going to have less impact than the last one.
Slightly, yeah. And of course the exposed barracks is a free Rex for Dire pretty much.
Yeah.
They cannot teamfight this. No Ravage, no Metamorphosis.
Top lane though, Ori, he's keeping his eyes on the prize. Shadow Shaman might be able to control him if Ori does not get his BKB off up there in the top lane, as they do have him already hexed and they have the shackles afterwards, keeping him under control. It's just to try and hold off for the moment.
Yeah.
Keep him off of the barracks, keep him off of the tier 3 tower. Still playing around with Ori, and Ori has to back out. Meanwhile, Chaos also able to just walk away. And well, King RD, he actually is just going to keep his eyes on Shadow Fiend here, keep him under control, make sure he can't TP you out. And if Shadow Fiend can't get out of here, they could ostensibly stay for a little bit longer once they get that creep wave back into position. Shadow Fiend wants to just TP out of there, and King RD still chasing in the woods, isn't going to be able to find him, it looks like.
Yeah.
Still, Chaos, Reflection going to be manted off, and the tier 3 tower assaulted. They have to wait a little while for the Shadow Shaman to show up, so they know that it's going to be a 4-on-5. Yang walks forward, still holding off for the moment. No mana, Ravage in 13 seconds. Does he have any way to make this work with the mana afterwards?
Nope.
It's not any stick charges at all. The Static Storm is down, but where's the Ravage follow-up? They don't have the mana. They have the Requiem, and all of Yang is starting to fall down low. They kill off the Tidehunter. He has buyback. Can TP into this one and try and go for the Ravage afterwards. They have the Shackles broken for the moment. The Ravage going to connect onto 4 of them. Can they kill off all of these heroes? They have the Stone Gaze, though, and now controlled. Paparazzi is going to fall, and GG is called. Chaos do it in game number 2.
Clinic.
Dropping their items
Chaos
in the classic
played
way.
super well this game. Like, they looked like a proper tier 1 team. Team coordination, spot on. Item decisions, spot on. Map movement, spot on. Not much to criticize, man. They played really well.
And knowing what they needed to do as far as finding the right lane matchups. And afterwards, you know, even at the laning stage, it felt like they were behind at the early goings, but just made those right movements. Weeha had a great game, 10-1-7, but you were saying that you felt like it was the Shadow Shaman that really stole the show for you.
Yeah, I mean, he was so farmed. He was always at the right place at the right time. He made so many big plays around the map, canceling TPs here, just keeping people in place there, always in a good position to shackle in a team fight. Never got caught out of position.
Yeah.
I mean, but just as a whole, this Chaos team played really impressively in this game. I didn't expect them to outplay Vici like that.
I know, right?
That was intense.
All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, you know what that means. We got a game number 3, a series on our hand, elimination match. Who's it going to be?